All right, I got my hot tea here. Out of reach, of course. Why would I keep it in reach? All right. Let's do this, huh? It bothers me immensely that I feel the need to say this. This certainly isn't the first time this has been said, and it definitely isn't the most succinct or complex explanation of the concept, but if this has to be said a million times, then I'll make sure it does. Stop infringing on free speech. Stop spitting in the face of the idea. Stop cutting off your own nose to spite your face. Frankly, the faces of the world can't take much more abuse. Let me just go ahead and drop a disclaimer here. The ideas that I'm expressing don't inherently reflect the views of 5 Bubbling Fools. I'm posting this video as an individual. Now, follow through on some logic with me, okay? Let's turn the clock way on back to the women's suffrage movement. Let us all remember a time when women didn't have a right to vote. We can all agree this was a terrible thing, right? It meant women had no political representation. They couldn't elect officials whose values reflected their own, or who cared about what issues affected women uniquely. They had to rely on their husbands and sons and fathers to vote in a way that they hoped would be to their benefit. Basically, it sucked ass through an industrial-grade ass-sucking device. Now, to say that women had no pull at all is pretty reductionist, but without the same institutional tools that men had, that could be ignored at any time. So you know what women did? They protested. They talked about it. They made statements, and they spoke their mind freely. To a lot of people, this was offensive. Traditional values were being thrown aside. What kind of woman doesn't trust her husband to have her best interest at heart? Their husbands loved and understood them, right? So shouldn't they be able to take care of them? Now, you and I understand from our enlightened future perspective that this was a load of crap. Everyone needs to have a say in the things that affect them. While it's totally possible for members of different races or sexes or nationalities or genders or anything to understand one another, the complexities of a life not your own often escape the undedicated observer. Now, what do you think would have happened in a country without free speech? Well, women wouldn't have had a platform to speak from. Someone could have stood up and said, "Hey, what you're saying not only defies my moral understanding of the world, but also calls me guilty of cruelty for not believing in the same moral standard as you. I won't abide this," and instantly shut her down. By standing up against the laws and society of her nation, she would have put herself at risk for government punishment. That's not to say civilian punishment of the feminists didn't happen. The owners of the Triangle Shirtwaist Company hired prostitutes and gangsters to assault protesters outside their factories. But we're talking about institutionalized government punishment, like jail time, public service, or execution. Our moral understanding of the world changes. Way back when, it was considered immoral to give contraceptives to women at risk of sexual assault or dying from childbirth. Does that sound immoral to you? I'm not talking about abortion here. I'm talking about things like condoms and pills. Do you think it's immoral to help protect a woman's life and happiness just because it might prevent a child from being conceived? It used to be considered immoral to be gay. But governments are slow, monolithic beasts that take time, energy, and passion to move. People with understanding and passion have to stand up and cry for change, bringing voices to their side to cry in unison for what they believe to be the best for all. The right to say offensive things is one of our most powerful tools. Offense gets things done. Offense sways hearts and inspires action. That's why I'm speaking this message today. Because I, for the longest time, didn't believe I could actually be offended. I thought I had too thick a skin, too relaxed an attitude towards the opinions of others. But this offends me. This claim that hate speech isn't free speech because it hurts people's feelings. Calling things hate speech that most definitely are not. Deplatforming people, costing people their livelihoods, ruining lives because someone said something that upsets you. It's unconscionable. It's reprehensible. Listen to me. If someone says something racist, that's their prerogative. They're wrong, in my opinion. Racism is another one of those things that makes my skin crawl. It's their right to say it, though, and taking that away from them is nearly unforgivable. If someone says something to you that you disagree with, you are under no obligation to continue to patronize them. If you don't like Chick-fil-A's policies on religion, don't eat there. Tell people why you don't eat there, and if they stop eating there and they tell other people, then the market will speak, and the company will either change their ways or be devoured by the constantly moving tide of progress. By all means, vote with your dollar. If you don't like a YouTuber or a gamer's political views, don't support them if that's important to you. But, and I cannot ever stress this enough, do not take away their ability to speak. Don't call their bosses and get them fired. Don't pull fire alarms to force their speeches to evacuate. And don't jump up on a stage that you weren't invited onto and scream bloody murder at them. Unless someone is inciting violence, they have a right to express whatever opinions they feel like. The arrogance, the sheer arrogance it takes for someone to say that they have the right opinion and no one else need voice theirs is deplorable. The hubris to believe that you have the right to punish someone for their opinions by ruining their lives. It's disgusting. Every day, we as a society upturn old rules and understandings because we, through discussion, come to new understandings. What is the right opinion today may be the wrong opinion in 10 years as we progress. That is why everyone must speak. Ideas must be heard out, considered, and either accepted or discarded. Even the most unhelpful, toxic claim deserves to at least be considered, because how else are we to grow? I have one final point to make. If you disagree with someone, talk to them. You can do it publicly if you like. Hold a debate. Give everyone a chance to bring their ideas to the table. If someone has managed to amass followers through their ideology, there must be something in that ideology that people find compelling, right? Listen to them. Find their salient points. See if maybe the ideas they have don't actually inherently stand against your own. Most of all, always be willing to accept that you might be wrong. I know, it's probably the hardest thing I'm going to ask all of you ever, but it's also the most important. We are all humans. We're all capable of being wrong. Even our most impassioned, strongest held beliefs could be incorrect, but we won't know until we talk them out, and clinging to them after they've been thoroughly debunked does nothing but hurt the people we claim to fight for. Oh, and do me a favor, don't be a dick during the debate. Don't interrupt them, or play word games, or redefine words to make them fit your point, or undermine people for mistakes they made years ago. And for the love of God, stop strawmanning, please. You wouldn't have to build straw men if you actually debated the people who hold the opinions you're trying to attack. Just be honest, please. That's all I really wanted to say on the matter. This isn't a political channel. I just felt very strongly about this and wanted to say it. I'm not stating any particular political leaning, and this message isn't targeted at any particular group. It's targeted at everyone. If you truly want to engage in politics to create a better world for everyone to live in, start by being open, honest, and genuine. If making the world a better place truly matters to you, then you have to be honest with the way you plan on going about that. I'll see all you guys soon for more normal channel content. You have a lovely day.